Hi, it's December. Hard to believe, isn't it, that the year is almost done?
Connected to
Uh,
iPhone 149.
could you please mute yourself if you're not the first feature? Thank you. Um, it's December and it's time for verse virtual poetry reading. So uh, today we have two wonderful features. Uh, Casey Newbegin and Ashley Mabbitt, and an open mic, a small open mic. And I've added everyone that I could who wanted to be on the open mic. Um, if anyone else wants to, you can put the information in the chat and I'll get to you. So let me introduce our first reader, who is Casey, I believe.
That's right.
All right. Casey Elizabeth Newbegin was born and raised in California. She's the author of the crowdfunded chapbook Northern California Lightning series, and her work has previously appeared in the Holland's Critic, Quiddity, Tipton Poetry Journal, Exister, Journal of Arts and Literature, and other journals. She works as a fine arts insurance specialist. That's interesting. And lives with her wonderful husband, Nick, sweet baby son, Nolan, and their two cats, the old giant love bug Scoresby and the young mischievous dusk gremlin Noxos in Brooklyn, New York. The Eucalypts is her first collection. Take it away, Casey.
Thank you so much, Robbi, and thank you so much for having me in this lovely reading. It's so nice to see some familiar faces and familiar names here. Ashley and I had the pleasure of attending Jean Marie Beaumont's manuscript class at 92Y together, where I think both of our books were first born uh, and have now come into being. So today I'm reading from my collection, The Eucalypts, out this past September from Game Over Books, a small press in Boston. It's my first collection, and it explores themes of the natural world and the environment, and navigating young adulthood and love in a world that's shadowed by the climate crisis. So really about relationship to place and relationship to people in in difficult times. So I would love to read you some poems from this book. The first is from a series in the book, the Clarity series, which are a series of poems that are all titled similarly, Clarity at a River or a Body of Water, kind of speaking to how you have these moments of feeling like you've figured out something um, about life, about love. Um, and really gotten to the bottom of it right up until the next time you feel like you figured everything out. Clarity at Russian River. The bathing suit I'd borrowed didn't fit. Wet polyester crawled into the fold under my breasts, too tight and too loose at once. Slick river rocks slid beneath my feet, and the barbecue burned. Watched him talking on the shore. Hated him some for bringing me, like an offering, out into the loud sun and talk of strangers. Swam upstream to spite him, leave him wondering where I'd gone. Drought made the current mellow. I floated back down on the surface, belly up, arms open, ears underwater. Thank you. So sweet, seeing a little hand flutter. This next poem is titled #SheSaidYes. Beach light where Instagram filters wash out their faces, outlines blurred in overexposed whiteness, can't see the divisions. I want to. I hope they're not so whole as that. Do they think of the shoreline inching closer with each anniversary? I've been trying hard to live right. I drink big bottles of water. I do yoga. The spinal twists wring the air right out of me, those tight breaths I gasp when I'm anxious. I unfurl to fill back up. I try to learn the names of Texas trees, live oak, redbud, cedar elm. I recycle my aluminum, vote blue, still sweating horror melts into the very courthouse where they'll tie the knot. After the hot shower pricks my skin pink, I turn the tap to cold so my blood leaps. I wonder, to be whole and vigorous enough to love you, do I have to be one of those insufferable people who wake up early and only drink green tea? How good do I have to be to say thus? Sometimes I think it shouldn't be this hard, but I have dreams where I can't tie my shoes, nights I forget to be in love. My phone erupts with executive orders. I try to believe as much as they do in a future. Thank you. This poem is about a very special place to me. I see actually my mom on this call. And this is a place where my family camps every year in Northern California, Mount Lassen. It's near Mount Shasta in Northern California. It's a very special place to my family. Evaporation, Mount Lassen. I touch the mountain each year, believing I've changed and it hasn't. Snowy or scorched, its summit etches the same line in me. But the lava dome is active. A seismograph needle traces its every tremble. A mud pot spews sulfur, scalding springs erode rock. The conifer burns, grows back. Manzanita needs heat to seed, but fire intervals keep getting shorter. Willow roots show how high Butte Waters used to be. Hat Creek becomes Hat Lake when the beavers dam it, and becomes a meadow when they move on. Thank you so much. Um, so you can see already in just a few poems that this collection has kind of a wide geographic scope. I tended to bounce around a lot in my 20s. So there are poems in California or in Portland, Oregon, where I went to undergrad, Austin, Texas, where I went to grad school and was very unhappy. and and then many poems from the life I've made here in New York City. I'm very interested in how, we as people have access to the natural world, even in urban environments. So a lot of these kind of poems that reference rivers or things like that really have to do with the touch points we have to the natural world in cities. So this poem is calling to that connection to nature. It's sort of an urban pastoral. It's called Precipitation, Prospect Lefferts Gardens. In the fourth month, the magnolia on my morning walk to the subway is in pink riot. The cupped, white-edged petals absorb cool sunshine that shifts suddenly some afternoons to squalling thunder and hail. I am turning 29 beneath its branches, resisting the incessant hunch that there's something I should have done by now. Scientists say we have a dozen years to cut emissions. I might have as many to conceive. The last man told me, maybe in 3 years. Then he took it back. I count them like the hours between dusk and dawn, but no one will tell me how much time is left. Days lengthen, shorten. What I want relies on this, a spring that will return, my body with its fragile and unknown interior. Yesterday, a man fell into the empty tracks. Shouts rang along the platform as we pulled him to safety. But his open hand reminded me some of us get stuck, reaching. Thank you. I'm going to read just one more for you all. Again, returning to California, my home, deep down, not my home, and really, diving into that sort of confusion of lover and landscape that is kind of central to this collection. Lover as chaparral. The breeze sweeps through the tall grass and oxalis the way I run my fingers through your hair. I'm supposed to see you as something separate from the hillside, but your irises reflect the eucalyptus, both umber as the earth beneath you. We cannot wrench ourselves from terrain nor time. A peregrine falcon rests on the lift of a thermal column. Suspended above the trees, it appears still. But this hill was formed from shallow sea sediment, shells still fossilized in its boulders. Bay peoples twined these same fibrous vines into baskets before the mining companies stripped the land of limestone. Bayberry Pond dries and refills each year, seasonal by restorationist design to avoid spawning voracious bullfrogs. Do I use you as we've used the ridge, cherish, consume, try to save? When the air matches my body temperature so perfectly, how can I help but become the thing that surrounds you, as this hill is encased in atmosphere? The hummingbird's wings are too quick to track, so it hangs motionless at each scarlet blossom before vanishing to appear at the next. It's taken a long time to realize we're speaking. I can't say we sound like robins or branches rustling, but I can say I find our voices indistinguishable. You may not believe me. I hardly believe myself. The sun shines through us, not on us, and I press myself to you as if to land. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Such a warm and lovely group. I love the chat. It's such a pleasure reading for you all. I will drop a link to the book in the chat if it's
I
available
already
for
did
purchase
it.
through my publisher. Oh, you already did. Look at you on top of it. Thank you so much. And thank you all so much for having me. I can't wait to hear some of your words as well.
Thank you so much for that lovely reading. It's such a high group of poems for a first collection. Well, I know my first book of poems was The Kitchen Sink. Our
Well,
next
thank you
reading,
to Jean Marie, who's on this call, for helping out with that, pulling it together as an actual book and not just
it's
a
wonderful to have
shuffled pile
someone
of
to do that
poems.
for you. Yes, I've had to do that myself. So far, I'm having a little trouble finding my document, but I will. Here we go. Our next feature is Ashley Mabbitt. Ashley lives in Brooklyn and manages a career in academic journal publishing. She has a debut full-length poetry collection, A Self, A Frame, A Look In Through, and is currently working on a new manuscript. Ashley's poems have appeared or are forthcoming in Plume, the Acrostic Review, Emerge, Raven's Perch, South Florida Poetry Journal, and the Somerset Review. She's currently working on a new manuscript and also leads a quarterly poetry book club, which gathers online and in person at the Academy of American Poets storefront in Brooklyn. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Robbi. It's great to be here and wonderful to read with you, Casey. And your collection, it's so nice actually to have read a book before it's being read from. So I feel like, these are familiar friends coming to greet me again. One of the lines I really loved from one of the poems you read today was, uh, something, I'm going to get it probably not exactly right, but something along the lines of as if I have changed, but it hasn't, as if nature is not changing, which is like exactly the problem we're in, right? But I just think it's so beautifully said and such gorgeous imagery. So wonderful to hear your poems.
Thank you,
So absolutely, yeah. And a special shout out to Jean Marie Beaumont, who, as you mentioned, Casey, was instrumental in helping us pull our manuscripts together, which is just something I'm very, very grateful for. So I am going to read from my collection, A Self, a Frame, A Look In Through. And the first poem I'm going to read is sort of similar to Casey. There's a little bit of a mini series in here with a series of a half dozen or so poems that start with the titles of which begin with the words "My ideal self as a dot dot dot." So this one is called "My Ideal Self as a Sable Cookie on a Baking Sheet just out of the oven." I not only basked in the heat, its intensity formed and shaped me. There were many of us who did this, exposing our whole selves, at first soft and damp, and then rising to our feet, lifting our chests to the noonday sun. We felt our fate meeting us where we stood. And now, at rest, we await the loosening from the parchment, the levitating mid-air. Thank you, thank you. This next poem I'm going to read is I've been doing some, let's call them riddle poems. So you won't know exactly what the subject of this poem is, or it won't be said explicitly until the very last line. And I thought it might be fun, actually, if you want to, especially since this is an active chat going on. So if you'd like to just post in the chat what you think the subject of this poem is at any point before that last line, feel free. No prizes, but it, could be fun. So this poem is called Nothing About You. Nothing about you, not even your physical appearance, your four exact corners, uneven creases, or your pale greenness, paling to grimy grayish green the longer you circulated, was unique. Did you never grow tired of greasing one palm, then the next? Never developing any deeper attachment to anyone who received you gratefully? Who held you and kept you safe? Maybe this is exactly what you are attempting to do, to be at rest, to reflect on your relentless journey, when you hid yourself, folded neatly into a deep pocket of my grandma's warm winter coat, tucked so efficiently away that long months later, when once again she made her first steps across the icy parking lot of a Michigan winter, you revealed yourself at last, refraining from hunching up as far away as you could get from her fingertips' long reach. And as she felt your form in her hand, bringing you out into the diminishing sunlight of late afternoon, she stopped and stared down at you with an expression of disbelief, amazement, genuine confusion as to how she had managed to keep herself, her husband, and all three of her children afloat last winter without a single favor from you, a perfectly usable $5 bill. Right, thank you. Do we have any guesses? Oh my gosh, they're all yes, paper money. Not, yes, dollar bill. Oh, great. Well done. Bragging rights granted all around. Okay, excellent. So this next poem I'm going to read, several years ago, there was an extended Mabbitt family trip to Idaho to see the solar eclipse. So we all came from different parts of the country to put ourselves in Idaho on the line of totality, as it's called. And I'd like to dedicate this to one of the Mabbitt family members who was there, my Aunt Caro, who sadly passed away last month. So this is for Caro, and it's called Eclipse. Eclipse. I don't think they even knew. Do you? How closely we watched their progress, how we brow furrowed every wisp of cloud which might clump together and block our sight of the sun and moon, walking their two paths like toddlers through the morning sky without pausing to wonder whether the grown-ups noticed how freely they balanced on their two pairs of feet, not once clutching anyone's hand. Okay. And thank you very much. So this next one I'm going to read is another riddle poem, which actually has just been accepted for publication in a magazine called, oh gosh, it's completely slipped my mind. I should have written it down. But nevertheless, it is a riddle poem. I don't name the subject in the poem. So again, if you want to post it in the chat, you are more than welcome to. So this one is called To One Who Finds Herself Glowing in Darkened Woods. The distance between you and what you illuminate does not matter. With pure and peaceful focus, what you seek is found, and then you let it go. The moment your light, muted silver, connects with any still or stirring surface of water upon the earth, its tuning fork has met its single hammer stroke, vibrating back to where your gaze rests and receives its hum. Then you send it out once more for what cups your sound in its clasped hands. and offers it back again. Okay. Thank you, guys. I'm going to check the chat. Yes, the moon. You guys are very good. Excellent. Very happy to see that. And so I'm going to read one last poem and sort of in honor of the season we're now in, on the cusp of a brand new year. But before I do, I just want to say thank you all so much for being here. It means a lot. And I hope you all have a peaceful and joyous holiday season. So this last poem is called For Your New Year. May your new year begin like a striped beach umbrella, opening with a muted pop sound, its broad, smooth cloth keeping you cool on the sand underneath as it faces the sun's heat for you. And may each hour progress in its own time. May you find its wisdom settling easily into you without worry that something dear is now lost. May a place to sit appear when your legs feel heavy, and may sitting down bring to mind a memory, a vivid image of waking up beside someone who adores you on the very first morning you awoke, without doubt that new love had arrived and you had been able to fully let it all in. Thank you all. Thank you, Robbi. Thank you, Casey. And I'm very much looking forward to the open mic.
I was just about to say on the chat that I really enjoy the interactive nature of your reading. We don't often have people do that, and I think it's a lovely thing to do at a reading. Thank you so much, both of you. Those are lovely poems, and it's a pleasure to have you on. I hope, wish you a lot of luck with your books. Okay, we have a short open mic. It looks at the moment. So I'll give people one more chance, if you're not already on the list, whether you'd like to join us for 2 short poems or 5 minutes, whichever comes first. Anyone want to join our open mic who isn't already on the list?
You should add Kika.
Okay, Kika and DeeAnne. All right. So that's it, huh? Okay. Well, our first reader on the open mic is Dick Westheimer. Go ahead, Dick.
And will do. I just love the reading. It's great to be introduced to 2 poets I've not heard before, and their wonderful reading voices. I'm working, I found myself working on a series of poems reflecting on the 15 years since a heart attack I had. And I've written 2 this week, so I thought I'd read those 2. The first one is Forgetting Dying All Over Again. I was born in the call 15 years ago. Today I went to the creek and threw in flat stones, each for the times I died. 1 for the attack, 2 for the call home, 3 for the way the nurses tried to revive me. What do you say the next day after death was thrown into reverse and you remember your first breath? That you are as indifferent to living as a worm is to the shovel that sliced it in 2. And which half survived? The one whose garden needed weeding, whose wife did not like attending the kids' soccer games, he who still had stones to haul from the creek to pave the garden path. And the part that died, it lives too in the pain in my chest I remember, like a woman remembers labor pains, like a baby recalls the call, like a stone that longs for the creek. And the second one is called ingratitude. It's a common experience, isn't it? Ingratitude. I have counted to 8 every morning for the last 15 years. I am a pill minder man, a medicine man, a man dependent on the drug supply not being interrupted man. The white one lowers my blood pressure, so I take the yellow one to make me larger when my lover calls my name. So I take the beige one so my heart does not ache. So I take the blue one to keep stones away. I am an accountant balancing the books, a child keeping track of every M&M, a diviner reading leaves spread in the palm of my hand. I solve the riddles of ground powders poured into molds that somehow have transformed into 15 years. They said if I lived a year, I'd live 5, and I've forgotten to thank the pharma gods every day since. But I do lie in bed each night, seeing the arteries around my heart run red, a pulsing tangle of mysteries, of my heart holding my heart in a web, of a dream spider sighing, her stomach full of flies, that she, at least, is grateful for, even as I fall into the gift of pharmaceutical sleep. Thank you so much, all.
That was great. What can I say? All right, our next reader is Francine. Are you still here, Francine? You should unmute.
Hang on one second, trying to start. Oops, I'm on, I'm sorry, I'm on a different machine today, so I'm a little confused with this. Anyway, nice to be here. Wonderful features, really great reading. I have 2 poems from my new book, Some Distant Pin of Light. And this is called, first one is called First Conversation, Maybe. So if the apple won't satisfy your hunger, what will? Here, God waits for an answer. Eve says nothing. A rage begins to build. Call it wind, call it a hurricane that might tear the skin off of a garden. But no, this is a patient God. He decides to taste the apple himself, rolls the bitterness of knowledge around on his God tongue, and presto, comes up with names for everything: hurt, disease, 1,000 more names. Meanwhile, Eve is standing in the sweet shadow of leaves, waving over her head. The sudden fullness she feels as she thinks about what will satisfy her hunger, her hunger. And she answers God's question, and her answer, again, is simple: nothing. And the second one is called The First Snow, being that, well, for a lot of you, you've already had the first snow. We haven't had it quite yet in New York City, but, that's fine with me. This is called The First Snow, not of the season, but ever, falling like it did on unmanned land, sometimes fluttering upwards in a gentle spin of wind, feathered and swirled as the first thought which would come up in a much later snow, when human appeared and thinks, I am a thing. Later, I will have a name, and there will be billions of me. The unthought thought, of course, is how much clearer the snow would sound without the thwack of an axe or the crackle of fire, without the thud of bones squealing the ice, without the thud of boots squealing the ice that has no choice but to give in and split when the wind itself remembers being wordless and clean. Thank you so much.
I'm getting stuck a lot here, so if I'm a little slow, I'm sorry. Our next reader is Sarah.
You mean Sarah Sarai?
Yes, I think
Oh.
you're the only one who,
Okay, I'm the only Sarah. All right.
but I can't hear you though. You're very, very soft.
Can you hear me now? Because I don't know what else to do.
A little better.
Really? This has never happened on Zoom.
I hear you okay. I think just
Okay, I'll just, okay. So my first poem was published in Zacalo Public Square, and it was got a runner-up in Poems of Place, because like you, I'm a part California, Casey. California Holding. I sent my great nephew poems on mastery, perfection, the work, life as calculation, calculation as art. He's black, I'm white. We're both seniors. Colleges are scouting him. Medicare is courting me. The collection, Beholding, is an easy pick for an aunt far away who long ago gave up on family. So, beholding, praise of precision and the incalculable, of Dr. J. Julius Irving, who is 1 year younger than I am. Ross Gay, the poet, is way years younger. Enough of him. Dr. J's soaring, gliding, gravity-defying reverse layup, acted out wily calculations of angles, throw upon toss upon game, like Euclid, QE, Dean, all 463 propositions with brick on brick logic. May my great nephew's life be floral and expert, California worthy, the California of survival. I want it beautiful and open, imperfect and joy-filled, filled with praise and the renewal of love, regreening hillsides. Endow each life with praise, and don't forget me, thriving like a succulent. Thank you. And even though we're not supposed to really read unpublished poems, I recently discovered I'm just a renegade. So this one's unpublished. Them again. Nothing to write about here but God. And I'm thinking, not them again? And try to become more important in my brain, which I share with God as a courtesy, with God who is all over the place and moody and expecting my interest, because you're not God unless it's known you're God. And here I am, doodling a pink heart and a purple unicorn, bookending the big G, the word, not the mystery. Not that God is just mystery, not precisely. It's hard to reach an agreement. Is life an enigma or my fault? I was anointed with confusion by the midwife, then spun to be given form as if I were bodies of water.
Thank you. Okay, our next person on the list is Rose.
Okay. I'm unmuted. I am reading, well, no, let me start this differently. I live in Lima, Peru, as some of you know. And I have been here now 15 years. And you know, when you get to a new place, you look at it with different eyes. You're more aware of the things that are going on. And after 15 years, you're kind of blasé, you're used to it. So the poems for this collection, Peru Blues, I wrote in the first 2 years when I had just arrived. So I was still very aware of the things that happen outside the big cities. At the seaside in Peru, houses made from basket weave lean into the dunes of the desert only a few meters from the salty dance of the Pacific, shivering in the stiff breeze. Sand mixed with plastic and excrement, small children crawl atop the landfill with burlap sacks. The old pig snuffles between shards and pieces of iron. A half-dead plant wrenches from the root, reminder of what once was, unsalvageable. Here I am, holding a small brown hand, sticky and bruised. Her large dark eyes are those of a cornered deer. Her mother turns to leave. And the other one from the same collection is Hidebound. The different areas in Peru, you have desert, you have Amazon, you have rainforest, you have coastal desert, you have everything. Anything is possible as far as the climate is concerned. Hidebound. The ocean is unimaginable to those who have always lived in mountains. The fisherman shudders when I tell him about high peaks and no horizons. The girl in the high-rise, walls sprayed with graffiti, 20 flats per floor, has seen luxury on the TV, but she's smart. She knows it for the make-believe it is. The old man walking along the coastal desert strip knows that you're lying when you tell him about rain. In the rainforest, the children giggle, mouth hidden behind small brown hands when I explain frozen water. But they're happy that I'm telling such tall stories. She washes my clothes in the lake. A small bird perched on her shoulder, glad to listen to me, but she cannot believe that there is another way. Thank you.
Love that, Rose. Thank you. Our next reader is Kika.
All right, I'm gonna read two poems. The first one was just published recently with Sheila Nagig, and it's called Inside of You is a Door. Inside of you is a door. It's made of oak and brass. Inside the door are atoms pushing against each other. There is no solidity, you say, and I brush my hand against your thigh. Is solidity so open?
You're frozen, Kika. Is she frozen for the rest of you?
Yes.
Is everyone? Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Kika. Um, I'll have to try you again. Do you want to start over? Is she still here?
Still frozen.
Okay. Let me go on to the next person. I'll come back to her. I'll write it in the chat. Okay, DeeAnne.
Hi, thank you. Didn't realize there was an open mic, but pleased to have actually sung with the two poets who featured in Grace Chorale a couple of years ago. And now I'm singing with the Astoria Choir here in Astoria, Queens. And our holiday concert is tonight, and they've chosen one of my poems to end the program.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
I will read that for you all as practice. And if you're interested, if you are on Facebook, the Astoria Choir will be live streaming at 8 p.m. tonight on Facebook. So here is the closing poem of the program tonight. Grateful. Passing over a city street grate, billowing warmth from underground's belly, when chilled to my depths, isn't as glorious as finding a patch of passionate sun. Yet still, this brief, foggy gust momentarily defrosts finger, toe, nose, numb, helping me to go on at least one more block of bitter concrete continuum. And for this spewing up metropolitan mist, which breaks the ice, however unnaturally, I am grateful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DeeAnne. You're welcome. Come back. We'll meet every month, but not on the same day. Our
Can
next reading.
I just say something? Can you post the link, DeeAnne, for the tonight? Thanks, on Facebook
Yes, I will try
or
to do
here
that.
or wherever. Okay.
I'll do that right now. Thank you in the
Okay.
chat.
Yeah. Now shut up.
Okay. Our next reader is Kathryn. Kathryn?
Hi, do you
Thanks.
mean Kathryn Mary
Several.
Crowley? Is there just one Kathryn here? Okay.
Okay. There were several people who came in with your name.
Oh, well, it's just me. Hello. I'm on my phone and thank you for leaving me in late. I signed up quite a while ago, but I couldn't remember. I've been singing all day here in Ireland, well, for 3 hours, and it was fantastic, but I'm really tired. So I have one poem for you, and I loved listening to you all. I find it impossible to comment in the chat while attending a Zoom call of any description. I just love to listen. So I'll share one poem with you called, it has Ennis in the title. So Ennis is a town in County Clare here in Ireland, and this is called Drunk in Ennis. Is the sound okay at your end? Okay. Drunk in Ennis. Plastic costume jewellery morphs into precious gems as treasure of sunlight streams in. In front of me, a woman wears a rusty brown coat, hood trimmed with fluffy beige. The wind picks up to swish against church buttress. We remain snug. A sunbeam warms a cold brass plaque on stone. Stained glass windows glow, 7 flat diamond panels, yellow framed by lead. Every single person is transfixed by the plucking of strings and baroque instruments. A clock is ticking, but here double bass is the timekeeper. Silence vibrates. We are vulnerable. Bald, shiny scalps, candy floss, soft curls, tiny, thin shoulders wrapped in a wool shawl, all green tones, moss, mint, and lime. In one window panel, men swig from a clay urn. I am drunk on coloured lights. Thank you.
That was lovely, and I hope you'll come again. Okay. Kika, you want to try it again?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. My computer just totally freaked out. You have time for it? I'll
Yes, go
read
ahead.
a couple of poems. I'll start over the last one. Inside of you is a door. It's made of oak and brass. Inside the door are atoms pushing each other. There is no solidity, you say, and I brush my hand against your thigh. Is solidity so open? The door unhinges, and outside the Russian sage blooms. Inside of you is the room with the door. It is full of cushions, the violet color of Russian sage. Inside of me, I feel they're blooming on the back of my mouth. When I say I love you, you open the door, walk outside. Outside of you, the trees dream of yellow. It's so hot, you say, as you wait for autumn. Inside the hollow of willows, the bees weave hives and fill them with honey from the pollen of Russian sage. I brush my palm against your cheek. I am gentle in your swarm. And then the second poem is called Dear Family. It's a Thanksgiving poem. Dear Family on Thanksgiving. We were rivers, water curling over stone, wondering what the ocean would say when we joined it. We were acrobats, aerial, dancing in the night of Denver, the audience small and peanuts too salty, and three ways of leaving each other. One was silence, one the incessant ache of our hips, one the secrets and how they turned into doves, holy ghosts finding ships lost at sea, their claws grasping a letter we send to our future ghosts. We were bricks placed one by one to build homes with locks and dogs and stairways we climbed daily to find ourselves, our daily rituals like lighting a candle in St. Stephen's to honor the dead. That was Vienna years ago, where my mother's brain rotted like the leftovers of a heavy meal most people cannot finish, where my father died. It's Thanksgiving. Today we are nubile, and today we are not the stone in the river, and today I will light every bone in my body for you. The rain will welcome the snow. The morning doves will swoop down in perfection. I will give thanks.
Thank you. I think you were beginning to freeze again.
Mm.
Okay. Well, to wind up the open mic, our editor, Jim Lewis, will read some work.
All right.
And maybe I'll read one too.
My first poem is very short. It's titled Relinquishing. If I were to let go this thing I so much love because you love it not, do you not fear, as I do, that relinquishing the one might loose me from the other? And the second poem is from a work in progress that is the title of the work is going to be Before the Garden, Beyond the Grave, and it will be completely themed on Old and New Testament, emphasis on the Old Testament. This poem is called Just Call Me Mrs. Under the hot sun, no rain in sight, Mrs. Ham, Mrs. Shem, and Mrs. Japheth, so named because what else do you call married women who are historically all incognitae, neglecti, non relatae? They are shelling beans, swapping stories, laughing as they try to outdo each tale with something bigger and better, And as the whoppers get out of hand, cracking up so hard, they knock over a pot of seeds and have to scramble to rescue them. Do they care? No, not at all, because they know the why of what they are doing. And it doesn't matter what future readers might think or wonder. They know each other, know their shared covenant of obedience. When the promised/threatened flood comes and covers this very spot where they, in perfect faith, are doing all that is asked of them, they will be ready. Seth's wife says, "Let them call me Mrs. God knows who I am, and that is all that really matters." Mrs. Seth, indeed.
Thank you. I think I'm only going to read one, and it's going to have to be an octopus poem because I saw Ashley's background. It looked like a bunch of octopus pictures. So I've just got to read one from my book, About to Disappear, from Shanty Arts Books. This is an Ekphrasta collection with images, and this painting is by Sally Swift. It's called Emerging Cyrenian. Evolving Cyrenian. The poem's called Emerging Cyrenian. So let me find it. Everything in the ocean becomes something else. Colonies of coral, once a soft carpet of color, become brittle and white, the stuff of island sand. The octopus embodies this quality of change, exactly the shape of whatever it needs to be. The octopus pours itself between two rocks. In the painting, its tentacles curl like breakers, tangled kelp fronds. Caught in the act of transformation, the octopus takes on the blue and orange of a large carcass, flesh peeling in flakes from its side. Then it disappears, skin puckering in mock putrescence, eye gaping like a wound. No wonder sailors wandering at sea once mistook this creature for a woman, hair trailing behind her in the green blue surf, singing the most beautiful song. Thank you. And thanks for being here today, and to our two features for their terrific sets of poems from their new books. It's hard to believe those are first books. They're so authoritative and polished, but it happens occasionally, especially with a good editor. Thanks so much to all of you for being here. Does anyone have any questions?
Thanks, Robbi, and thanks to Verse Virtual and Jim. And it was a beautiful reading. I'm happy I came.
I'm glad you did. And I'm looking for my record button and not finding it. Did they move it?
I will stop the recording for you, Robbi.
Thank you very much.